Hey Ben, welcome to the mill room. This is where all our specialty malts are stored. And our 2-row barley that's out in the silo out front comes in on this grist case here, and it flows through our inline scale and into our mill. This little homemade trap right here is where we add our specialty malts with our awesome high-tech, what do they call that? Hopper. And so we weigh all the specialty malts out on this scale, and then each of these tubs have each of the different malts. Here's some of the caramel malt that we use in a lot of the different beers. That's beautiful. And so each one of these tubs usually has an open different bag. And sometimes here's our roasted barley, which we have ample of roasted barley in our stout, touch in the brown. And so what happens if you look up here, the grain comes in from the silo, through the scale, through the mill, and then it goes up this auger here, and this grist case holds all the barley for each brew. We do 20-barrel brews, so in the morning they'll pull this out, and after their first mash they'll come back in and fill up the silo again. When we do 80 barrels, we'll do that 4 cycles, between 1,100 and 1,700 pounds of malt at a time. So it's really efficient to have the grist case in the We're up here on the brew deck, and we were just in the mill room. You can see this auger that comes out of the grist case and into the motor here in the mash tun. And what happens in the mash tun is we'll take all that barley and we'll mix it right here at this mixing station, where we use hot water from our hot liquor tank and mix it into the mash tun. During our mash, we'll have these rakes on, and they'll mix up our barley and our hot water to make our nice malt porridge. Takes about 35 minutes to mash in. And then after that, we'll stop and let it steep for about an hour. During that time, all the starches are being broken down into sugars, and that's what we're going to be fermenting. But first, we need to spice that work with yummy hops in the kettle over here. Charge into the kettle, holds about 650 gallons, it's 20 barrels. We'll do usually 2 brews in a day. We'll draw all that sweet, yummy goodness out of the malt. We'll bring it over here and start to boil it. And this is where we charge our hops. You can see the steam jackets down there on the sides. And then at the way bottom, there's that little collection point in the middle. And that's where the hops get picked up. And then, because you don't want to put a bunch of hops through the heat exchanger, we just want to get them put into the beer so that our beers are nice and hoppy and delicious. From that point, we'll cool down the wort and put them into all these fermenters right here. And during our fermentation, which will be between 5 and 7 days at 68 degrees, that yeast will metabolize all the sugars and create alcohol and CO2 gas. So we're about 12 days from grain to glass, and with our IPA, we'll dry hop. We'll actually open up the top of these tanks and pour fresh hops down into the fermenter, and that's where the Fry's Leaf gets its very aromatic and oily and resinous nose. It's fantastic. Another one of our great people, this is Alex Robbins, and he's working right now on our beloved keg washer. Tell us a little bit about it, Alex.
The keg washer has behaved very well for the last 3 weeks now since we got that new part, so it's excellent, works perfectly every time. And the kegs have got to be clean or the beer's not going to taste fresh, so it's every job is important here. This one, just like all the rest, it has to be done right, but the beer's not going to taste good, so yeah.
And also, he makes a pretty kick-ass brown ale. We just had it yesterday, and we were all double thumbs up. So we might see that on the pilot system, and we might see that in a Sebago beer near you later. Alex!
Cheers.
We're going to do a quick run through on our filler because it's not as interesting when we're not running today. But this is our pack on table. All the bottles index here. They follow in line, and then they come through this star wheel, which indexes them into the labeler. And the labeler they pick up a label on the bottle. Yoda gives his force of approval right there. See how he lifts that thing up? And then we move on into the twist rinser where the bottles flip upside down. We rinse them out, and they come back and they index right before the filler. This is a German-made filler. We have 9 cans and 3 cappers. And once they come through, they go up. They purge out with CO2, sieve the beer, come down, and lock in into the bottle caps. And then you can see they'll slowly start running at some point. All right, there she goes. And right now it has its cleaning ports on. You can see as the lifters come up, that's where the bottles will be. And then lots of times we'll go a little bit faster. That's about 100%. And we'll do about 48 bottles a minute when we're running. And that's really good for the size brewery we are. Typically we'll do 500 to 800 cases in a day. And then the bottles come off, they pick up a code date, and they are packed and sealed off right here. The bottles in the boxes, through the taper, and then off they go to a wholesaler and beer retailer near you. I bring people on a hot summer day on our tour, but we have all our cold storage for our hops, all our kegs, lots of our retail kegs. And if you come back here, then you'll see we have some barrel-aged beers, but I'm not going to tell you what they are because Tom's working on a unique blend for our Grand Cru this year. We have some kegs on tap that service our tasting room that we start and end our tours, and then we're constantly, turning this room over with inventory of different types of beer. So in the brewery, we had this. It's 8,000 square feet plus our offices. We have become very busy. And if you look around, you can see how much packaging and material that we have. But if you come over this way, in April, we leased the building next door. So we took over another 5,000 square feet where we have, my partner Tim has his office, our HR director, and Elise, our marketing manager. And we've started to build inventory by packaging ahead of time. This whole building is chilled down to 60 degrees, so we're able to build up some inventory. Previously, we've typically been packaging to order, so a wholesaler will call, hey, we need 1,200 cases, and we work on it all week to fill it. So most of the beer coming off the line goes right to the distributors and then right to the consumer. So fresh beer is always better, and this is going to kind of help us get to that point so we can continue to grow at 25%, what we've been doing for the past 3 years. Hey, how you doing? Now we're in the executive suite at Sebago Brewing Company with the co-owners here.
This
Tim
is what
Haynes.
You call a suite.
That's right, it's sweet. Yeah.
Sweet.
Brad Monarch. Brad oversees all the restaurant operations. People love him. People love Brad.
Do you know why they call us the suite? Turn around and look at that.
That's why it's sweet.
This is what we do. It's our office. This is our office.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have a sweet office? So, Ben, Tim over here is the brains of the operation. Kind of keeping Brad and I in check because we're a little numb sometimes.
Right here.
But,
Red Sox fan too.
But we like to have a lot of fun. We take our people seriously, we take our beer seriously, and we take our food seriously. So when you're drinking or eating at Sebago Brewing Company or at one of our events, it's because we take it seriously and we're excited about it. So thanks for coming today, Ben, from ActiveBeerGeek.com. Come again and bring all your blogger video friends. Be great.